Our presentation on godliness and spirituality. Now we've been able to, it's very clear to us now about the origin of principalities and powers, those who are in charge of various communities, powers of darkness, agents of darkness, demons and devils who are in charge of the various nations. It's very clear now how we came about them, how they came to be. Now let me read Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. Let me back it a little bit up to verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You see that these fallen angels, for these fallen angels that have been cast out from the second heaven, and they've been cast out, they've been cast down into the earth, occupying the first heaven. They are the influencing man to establish cities and nations. They now take over the entire world. They now take over the entire world and control kingdoms and empires in all the world. Everywhere, any village, any kingdom, any city, any nation, any continent, any region, you see principalities and powers in control. That is why he's telling us that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. We are not fighting against human beings that have blood. That's what he's saying. Against flesh and blood. Because these principalities and powers, these forces, these beings that we are fighting, they don't have flesh and blood. They are not human beings. Human beings in the first heaven, God created that. In the beginning, God created us to have blood. God created us to have flesh. God created us physical. So we have flesh and blood to sustain the spirit that God has given us. But the one that we are fighting, they don't have the physical makeup. They have only the spiritual makeup. That is spirits. They are spirits. That's why he's saying we are not fighting against those people that is human beings that have flesh and blood, but we are fighting against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Remember, these principalities and powers, these fallen angels, they were cast into this world. They were cast into the earth. And so they occupy the second heaven. They were cast into the earth. They occupy mountains. They occupy rivers. They occupy trees. They occupy forests. They occupy deserts. They occupy everywhere. They occupy seats of power. They occupy economic power. They occupy political power, religious power, economic power, educational power. They occupy all seats, all realms of human affairs. All realms, all structures of all strata of human affairs, they occupy all, and they influence people to sit on those places and those positions and those thrones and dominions. They influence. That's why no nation. That's why no seats. All these seats of power. Whether you call them thrones, whether you call them political power, religious power, economic power, national power, what you call them. Most of them, almost all of them, via none, were influenced. Those people who were in charge of those places were all influenced, were all planted by the devil. Either they consulted the devil to be there, or devil planted them. In some cases, some people will contract the devil to help them. So the devil will now say, okay, you have done what I want, now take over. And others, devil will plant them there to be in charge of that. So they are all there doing the bidding of the devil, doing the bidding of fallen angels, doing the bidding of Satan, doing the bidding of Lucifer and the devil. And that's why powers are doing all over the earth, all over the surface of the whether economic power, political power, all via none, whether it's government, institutional government, non-government, whatever you call them, companies, that's what they're doing. They're doing the bidding of. So You see powers, you see principalities, you see the rulers of the darkness, of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. They're all there. And so that is why we say we are coming to this first session. The head, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the head of all principality and power. We wrestle not against flesh and blood and against. That's why you see them. They are in different categories. That they are different categories that we don't see. They occupy the ones that are occupying flesh and blood. That's why the ones that are flesh and blood. Remember, you say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Now it starts with we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That means the ones you see, the human beings you see working for the devil, they are actually influenced, they are actually filled, they are actually possessed by demons and devils. They are just not there for themselves. Sometimes they do something, so do some terrible thing, they killed. Commit all kinds of atrocities and all kinds of demonic sacrifices. They do that under the influence of Satan. They do that because they are doing the bidding of Satan. And so all flesh and blood, yes, flesh and blood that you see, all of them, they are all influenced by demons and devils. But so if you see native doctors, if you see traditional doctors, if you see mullahs and marabouts, if you see all of them, if you see marine spirit, if you see those ones who are there, human beings, as you say, oh, this one is mame water, this woman is mame water, this woman is obanje, this woman is mame, this one, but they are human beings. You see them human beings, you see them operating with demonic powers, you see them, they are all flesh and blood, but what they are using, but what is influencing them is demon, evil spirits, powers of darkness, principalities that are fallen down and controlling the heavens and earth. That is what is influencing. So they are under the category of flesh and blood. If you like, call them level 333. If you like, you call them level 333. Now there are those. These are human beings. They are human beings. Ordinary, they go and contract even the traditional rulers and whatever. They go and contract demons, and those demons will now be guiding them on what to do. I've mentioned mame water. Those are in charge of those are mame water. Those are whatever call them. They are human beings. Those native doctors, mullahs and marabouts. They contract them. They physically they contract. But there are those who now walk directly. That is not this. Some people walk indirectly with Satan, but there are those who they are in direct league. They are in direct contact. They are in direct contact with demons and devils, and they attend the meeting of demons and devils. These are the people that are in the occultic realm, and they are in level 666. So the first level 333, that's why it says flesh and blood. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Those are human beings that you see operating with powers of darkness, but sometimes they know what they're doing, sometimes they don't know what they're doing, sometimes they are possessed by the devil, sometimes the devil possesses, they contract the devil for what they are doing. They are just normal human beings. You see them, they are just normal human beings, normal persons, normal whatever. But there are some people who are in the society, who have initiated themselves into the occultic world, into satanic world, into demonic world, into devilish world, and they go and do meetings with them. Those are in level 666. They are the occultic people. They are occultic people walking in the spiritual world with satanic beings, with demonic beings, with demons and devils, with evil spirits. And then you have rulers of the darkness of this world. These are principalities who don't have flesh and blood. They are in level 999. Level 999. They are completely fallen angels who are walking. They are completely fallen angels fallen angels, demons and devil, evil spirits. And these ones can take different forms. They can take the form of human beings. It's not that they possess human beings. No, they don't possess human beings, but they can change in form of human beings when they want to do operation. They are complete fallen angels. They are evil spirits. They are demons and devils, but they change in human form. They can take any form. They can take the form of animals. They can take the form of chairs. They can take the form of plants. They can take the form of human beings. They can take the form of any animal, lions. They can take they change, but they are not human beings. They are fallen angels. taking any form in order to attack human. Everything, all the target is to attack human beings. They are 12 rulers of the darkness of this world, and they are the ones who are in charge of nations, in charge of cities. Spiritually, they are there about removing what is happening, and sometimes people see them and worship them, and so they manifest, they come to manifest. Then spiritual wickedness in high and low places. These are the arch fallen angels that are arch fallen angels that are there. They are called by different names, whether you call them Beelzebub, whether you call them Belial, whether you call them Azazel, whether you call them Avatar, whether you call them whatever you call them demons, you call them devils, you call them Satan, you call them Lucifer, whatever you call them, they are there in that category. They are not seen. They are powerful demonic beings. Rulers, what do you get? Spiritual wickedness in high places, and in most cases, people now give these people direct worship. They establish, just like some people are saying Church of Satan. People directly worship these people because these ones are the ones who claim to be God. Who claim to be God. Like Satan saying, I am God. Demons saying, I am God. They claim to be God, and they now say, they now ask for worship. They now deserve worship. They now ask for worship from other beings, from human beings and other fallen angels. They are the archangels. You see them, that's the principality and power. And so in this first episode that was the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the head of principality and power, we are seeing we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. These are what we wrestle. And you've seen them, whether in level, let me read it again. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, 3:3, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. 3:3, 6:6, 9:9, and 12:12. You see them in different categories. They have hierarchy. Satan has hierarchy. Kingdoms of darkness have hierarchy. They have hierarchy in their kingdoms. They have hierarchy in their positions and in their operations. And so that is what we see. And so we have seen them. But then, join me as we get to the next topic. Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the head of all principality and power.